Brick Lane looks like a street that has made up its mind. Cafes spill warm light onto the pavement. Signs hang at angles that suggest they've been there forever. And everything feels confidently present. But Brick Lane has never been one thing for long. It is one of those places that keeps changing, not by replacing itself completely, but by layering new lives over old ones, like fresh ink on a page that was never erased. And once you notice that, you realize something quietly unsettling. This street hasn't changed once or twice. It has changed again and again, and each time it left traces. If you walk here without looking for history, you can miss it. But if you slow down just slightly, you start to see patterns. A shopfront that looks modern, but sits in a building older than the idea it's selling. A doorway whose paint has been redone 100 times, but the threshold stone has stayed worn in the same place. A street that keeps learning new languages, yet never forgets the rhythm of the ones that came before. Brick Lane is not a museum. It doesn't freeze time. It does something more interesting than that. It keeps moving. For centuries, this part of East London has been shaped by arrival, by people who came for work, for safety, for a second chance, or for a first one. At different points, the street became associated with different communities, different cuisines, different prayers, different conversations. But the street itself, the brick, the narrowness, the familiar corners, stayed in place. And that's the strange part. A place can remain physically unchanged and still become something entirely new. The history that reshapes a city often arrives in smaller forms, in shop signs that change language, in recipes that change hands, in people learning how to be neighbours, while still feeling like strangers. It arrives in routine, and Brick Lane is built from routine. There's a temptation to talk about places like Brick Lane as if they belong to one story, but it's not true. The street belongs to change itself. People still wait at the same crossings, still look up at the same windows, still carry bags home along the same pavement. Only the contents of those bags evolve. Brick Lane has changed so many times that it no longer pretends to be stable. It simply absorbs new life, and it is honest about the fact that the city is never finished. This is what FootnoteAtlas is about, not grand history, but the quiet history that happens in ordinary places, a corner shop, a bus stop, a railway platform that disappeared, but still affects the rhythm of a train. In the next episode, we'll step into a corner shop in Whitechapel in 1978, where shelves began to learn 2 vocabularies at once. And after that, we'll follow a vanished platform near Stepney Green, where trains still slow, even though the station no longer exists on the map. If you want to keep walking through these quiet stories, consider subscribing. This is FootnoteAtlas, and this is only the beginning.